What is popping, everybody? Welcome to the Odell Bazell Show. Today it's gonna be quick, but I want to kind of just drop these gems on y'all. I'm doing a training tonight, and I'm just going through the training, and there's some really good stuff. I'm doing it specifically for speakers because I coach speakers, but the advice is so good, and the things that I'm going to be talking about are really helpful for those that are entrepreneurs, that are small business owners, that are service professionals. And I know some of the people I follow or that follow me on here are those people. So wanted to share these things with you. But first, I got to set the stage. So yes, I want to give you $500 million advice, 500 million with a B, $500 million advice for my white uncle. Now, I know you might be looking at me and be thinking, Odell, you have a white uncle? Did somebody get adopted in your family or anything? So I'm saying it affectionately. There is a guy, his name is Alex, and I met him last year. Now, this is an event. It was in Times Square in New York. It was a lot of people there with a whole lot of money. And I was lucky to get there. And Alex, I knew Alex. Like I'd known him from afar, I should say. And I know him from afar. And he sat me down and we talked at lunch, and he told me something like it shook the core of my business like forever. And I've been doing it since then and it's been working, but I just really recently started sharing it. And he asked me, what I did for a living. And I was like, yeah, well, I'm a professional speaker. He's like, oh, no, really? Oh, what kind of speaking do you do? And I told him I speak primarily for colleges and, small associations and organizations and stuff like that. He was like, man. And he started name dropping a lot of speakers that he had coached. And I knew like all of them, and I'm like, oh snap! So you coach this guy, that person, wow, that's amazing. And I said, most of them have since left the college space since I got in. He was like, yeah, because they're making more money. And I was like, oh, all right, cool. But he asked me this question, and I want to use this question to kind of jump into the advice that he gave me, and I want to give to you too. He said, Odell, you're speaking for these college students, right? Colleges. So the college is paying you, and then you're speaking in front of the students. I was like, yeah. He said, what are you selling to the students? And I said, nothing. I mean, I got paid to be there. I give everything that I can to the students. Students don't have any money and all that stuff. And he was just shaking his head like, nah. He said, of course the students have money. And he pulled up my website. He found a couple of pictures when I was speaking in front of like a stadium full of students. And he was like, how many students are in that room? I said, I think it was like 3,000. He's like, you mean to tell me nobody in that audience had money? Like none of the students had money. And I was like, yeah, maybe. He's like, how many you think had money? And I was like, I don't know, 100. He said, so how many thousands of students do you speak in front of every year, pre-COVID, right? And I was like, I don't know, like 10, 15,000. And he said, you have to have something to sell, because if you're good, then they want like a piece of you to take home with them, and you want to follow up with them. And then, hey, Odell, they're going to grow up one day, right? How fast did college go for you? You want to be able to sell something to them 10 years from now, 15 years from now. And I was like, oh my gosh, I've left so much money on the table. And he went on to tell me some things. And here's where I want to get into the advice that can pertain to you if you're a speaker or not, if you're just a small business owner. First and foremost, and I'm still shaking my head because it's like, man, if I would have known this, when I first started my speaking career, I'd be so far ahead. First of all, what he told me is he said, the business you think you're in is not the business that you're actually in. So that's the first piece of advice. The business that you think you're in is not the business that you're actually in. So think about what you do. And then I want to use an example. So one of my favorite basketball players of all time is LeBron James. And if you say, well, LeBron is in the basketball business, he gets paid from the National Basketball Association. He's in the basketball business. LeBron will tell you that he's not. He's in the entertainment business. It's a slight difference, but it's a big difference. He's in the entertainment business. Furthermore, he is in the marketing of his entertainment services business. That's the business he's really in, the marketing of his entertainment business. What LeBron does, and really what people like me do on a lower income level, is we get paid to advertise what we do. So when I go to a school, when I speak for a company, when I speak for a group, they're paying me to come in, but I still got to sell them something. I still got to sell them the message, right? Got to sell them a book, got to sell them an opportunity, right? Like when Nike creates a shoe for your favorite whoever, they're marketing Nike. They're marketing. So you're not in the business that you think you're in. You're in the marketing of that business. Slight difference, but it's a shift. Here's another piece of advice. You've got to create content to help the buyer make a decision to buy from you. You've got to create content to help the buyer make a decision to buy from you. Here's what I mean by that. So my wife, shout out to wives out there who are holding their men down. Shout out to my wife, Sierra. My wife is a doula. She's a holistic health coach. So one thing that we're going to be working on her business with this month is, well, what do people need health coaches for? I mean, I'm pretty healthy. I don't need a health coach. What do I need a health coach for? Well, you need a health coach to help you better decide like what works for your body and what doesn't. Doctors don't do it. They don't work on nutrition. They don't work on herbs. They don't teach you about that stuff. And so what's going on, Jacob? How you living, man? Good to see you. We got to catch up, bro. So whatever it is, you have to help them make a decision. And there's a quote that says, sales is helping your buyer make a good decision, even if that decision is not to buy from you. So if I am coaching my wife, which I am, I would say 7 reasons why you need a health coach, or 7 things you need to look out for when you're looking for a health coach, or pricing strategies, or something. Like help them make a decision. Because if they, first of all, if they consume that information, they're obviously looking, right? So that's somebody. But then you're helping them. So even if they don't buy from you the first time, even if they ignore all your advice and they get, messed over, they're going to be like, man, I should have went with that person. Gosh, that's what you do. You create content to help them buy from you. And so whatever business you're in, whatever business you're marketing, rather, help them make a decision. Like help them. Here are 11 ways to pick a great lawyer after an accident or something. Got a speeding ticket? 12 things to look out for before you hire an attorney. Something. Just give them some kind of information that's going to help them, because now we're in a search mode. Whenever something happens, we hit the internets. We're like, let me Google this. Let me YouTube this. Let me do this. Just give it to them. Just give it to them. And here's the last piece of advice for those of you that are watching. Appreciate y'all coming through. $500 million advice. This is going to sound super simple. Get consent to send content. Get consent to send content. Get their permission to stay in contact with them. Simple, right? I never did that. As a professional speaker, I've spoken in front of, I know, 100,000 plus people live. Never occurred to me. My first speech back in 2008 at Rockingham Community College, February 18th, never occurred to me. You know what? These people in here, if I do a good enough job, they might try to stay in contact with me over the years. Now it's 2020. The students that were in that audience are in their 30s. I could be selling something to them right now. I could be helping them get consent to send content. So all the stuff we talked about before, we talked about you're not in the business of marketing. I mean, you're not in the business that you think you're in. You're in the marketing of that business. So you always keep in contact with people to help them create content to help them come to a buying decision. Hopefully the buying decision is yours, but if not, it still helps them. But then get consent to stay in contact with them. Hey, do you mind if I send you, my monthly whatever? You mind if I send you, this? And if you've helped them, they're going to be like, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I appreciate that. And what's crazy is how few people do this. How few companies do this. Think about this. And I'm gonna do this one day. My brother, he cuts hair. I'm gonna do this one day, just when I get time. How many times have you gone to the barbershop and they don't get no information from you? It's like everybody in there is a spy almost. Like, hey man, when's your birthday? What time of day do you like to get your hair cut? They don't have a little sheet or nothing to stay in contact with you. Go to a restaurant, same thing. They don't have nothing to stay in contact with you. Nothing. We, like us on here, we got to do better. We don't have the money to leave money on the table. We don't have that opportunity. We got to do it. So make sure you follow that advice. And again, that's from a guy that's made over $500 million online. He's been marketing since before Google. He's called like the godfather of digital marketing. His name is Alex Mondosian. He's a real person. Like I didn't just make it up. I wish I did. It would have been a cool story, but no. Yeah, Mike, man, they're missing it, man, but it's all good. Like they missing it, but you already know. Like my pops used to say, if you don't want it, more for me. But I hope this helped you. If you're interested in learning a little more, again, I'm doing a session tonight called Coaching with Odell. You go to Coaching with Odell, what you're going to see is just a page. It's going to be like a short video of me saying, save the date, save the time, and all that stuff. But you go there. We start at 7 p.m. and I'm just going to be talking about it. Just going to be going a little bit deeper into it. So hope this helped y'all. And I appreciate y'all. See you at the top, not from the top. Orlandis, appreciate you, man. Hope all is well with you and the fam and all that good stuff.